Hi, everyone. Joe Kehrig, managing broker of Coldwell Banker Real Estate in Danville. And this week I want to do something different. I normally am sharing the graphs with you, showing you week to week where the market's going, but it's been pretty consistent. I mean, it's definitely a seller's market. Inventory is way low and pendings are way up, and that really hasn't changed in the last month. Even though going up to an election, the October before an election, the market normally slows down, but it hasn't here. And as I've mentioned in previous weeks, I don't know where it's going to slow down. The sensible part of me sits there and says, okay, it's got to slow down somewhere. I mean, we've on an 11-year bull run, but then you look at it and you sit there and go, okay, well, what's going to slow it down? It's not like in the San Ramon Valley, there's going to be 3,000 more homes built. And certainly even the Federal Reserve is saying the interest rates probably aren't going to go up for 2 to 3 years. So the demand, and I actually had some clients that came from San Francisco that were just told by their companies that they're going to be remote working for another year and a half. And they were in a 1,500 square foot condo on the 55th floor. And that was, place was worth almost 3 million. So you can imagine what they can come out and buy in this area for roughly, the same amount of money. So people are definitely, there's really nothing on the horizon that's going to make me think that the market's going to change. Definitely a lot of people have opinions on the elections coming up, which is now just next Tuesday, which I think we're all kind of hoping that it just, no matter how you feel, we just kind of want it to be over and move on with our lives. But yeah, long term, there's definitely a different mindset, between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And I'm not going to get in here because I try not to make this, video political. But no matter who's elected, one person or one party is not overnight going to change the market that we're in right now. The facts are still the facts. People are looking for the suburbs. The interest rates are historical lows, and people are needing more room, and they're not building any more houses. So all of those lead into the out of balance of the supply and demand that we have now. So I get asked every day from buyers, sellers, what would you do, Joe? So I want to spend, this video talking to you about, if you were my client, depending on what you were looking for. First off, let's say you're a seller. Now, I will tell you in that 1.2 to $2 million range, where you're getting 4 and 5 bedrooms, you're getting the dens, you're getting the expansive yards. Your houses in the last, my God, 3-4 months has gone up 10 to 20%. That means if you had $1.5 million home, literally just in the last 3 or 4 months, if it has the expansive yards, if it's in a neighborhood, has basically gone up $150,000 to $300,000 in 4 months. Now, obviously, you don't just, people go, should I sell? And I go, well, my first question is, well, so what's your plan? Where would you go? And they go, well, we don't have a plan. And I go, if you don't have a plan, stay where you're at. Now, if you're thinking that, like we've sold a couple homes where people are thinking, hey, Joe, I want to take advantage of this market where it is now. Yeah, it might go up a little bit more, but it's obviously, we think it's kind of peaking out. And we plan on moving out of the area in the next year or two. Well, in that situation, you're fine. Sell while the market is high. And then basically, in the year or two after the kids finish school, go ahead and sell. And then there's some people that sit there and I say, what do you want to do? Well, we want to sell high and buy low. So we want to sell and wait till the market drops. Well, I mean, that's kind of like being a day trader, and it's one thing to do it as an investment or with a stock, but doing it with your home where your family is, I don't really recommend. But if you do have plans to move anyway, it's really a good time to look at the market. I haven't seen anything like this in 42 years. At the same point, I don't necessarily see a lot changing in the next couple months. So what if you're a buyer? You would sit there and go, well, Joe, I want to buy. Should I not buy because things are so high? Well, that comes back down into the interest rates, because you literally have, and I've mentioned this before, in 49 out of the 50 states, homes are more affordable now than they were in 1995. And it's all because of the interest rate. So let's say you basically pay $1.7 million for a home that was $1.5 million a year ago. Well, chances are, comparatively to 10 years ago, that home's costing you less than it would have like 10 years ago when it was 500,000 lower. That's the impact that the interest rates make. And now you're in your dream home and you're there for the rest of your life at 3% or sub 3% interest rates. So it's a good time to think about moving, but be a smart buyer, be ready. Because, with the election, depending on what happens, there'll be, let's face it, there's going to be a lot of upset people no matter, what side wins. And so consumer confidence is going to go down because 50% of the people after the election are going to basically think they're screwed. So there's definitely going to be a consumer confidence level that kind of dips a little bit. So be a buyer, ready, willing, and able, but be a smart buyer. But don't wait for prices to go down because there's really no end in sight to this. There's no end in sight for the only thing that can change this market is if for some reason the economy goes nuts, which I think it's going to get better and better as we work our way out of COVID, and it gets so good that they raise the interest rates up from like 3 to 4%. That could definitely stall the market because really what does that do? It raises your payments like 30%. So that makes a huge difference. When rates are so low, they go up 1%, and it makes a huge difference in your payments. And definitely the demand might go down a little bit. And when you see inventory go up, it's not that there's a lot more homes being built. It's just that demand goes down, so the inventory goes up a little bit. So I would be a buyer in this market. Be a smart buyer. Don't, get into it where you're, have 20 offers and you're paying, $200,000 more than the home is worth. But there will be some selective buys out there. Now, here's the other place I would be a buyer. Condo townhouses. I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. The funny thing is we talk about, that the single family home market has gone up 10 to 20% just in the last 3 or 4 months. Well, the condo townhouses are basically selling for the same prices that they were 3 to 4 years ago. Because what's happened is we know that all the buyers want the extra bedrooms. They want the expansive yards. So they're not in a position where, they don't want the condos, townhouses. They want, the single family homes. And the people in the condo townhouses also want the single family homes for all the same reason. So what we're seeing is them putting their homes on their condo townhouses on the market. So the market is low. There's plenty of inventory and the demand isn't as high, for those reasons. It used to be that you could buy like a $600,000 townhouse. The average price was $1.2 million, and you could buy 2 condo townhouses for the price of one home. Well, now, that home a few years ago was 1.2, might be 1.8. And the condo townhouse that was 3 or 4 years ago is still around 600,000. So you can literally buy 3 condo townhouses. So there's a huge opportunity there if you were maybe looking at an investment, or if you had kids that needed to get in the home, or anybody who's renting. Man, I would beg, borrow, or steal. And down payments, you can get FHA with 3.5% down. They get into it because if you buy a 1 or 2 bedroom condo, I guarantee you, compared to renting, you'll save $1,000 a month. So here's the thing. If I'm a seller and I was thinking about selling in the next couple of years, give us a call and we'll basically sit down with you and we'll analyze, because every home is a little bit different. Every neighborhood, city is a little bit different. And we can talk to you about, what that home, the value is. The first question that we'll ask though is, what are your plans? What's your end game? Because putting your home on the market, when I meet with clients, now it's one thing if you meet with a client and they go, hey, Joe, I'm being relocated. I start work in 30 days in Texas, whatever it is. And so you sit there and you kind of know what their end game is. But some people that are just thinking about it, the first step is what would your home sell for now? Based on if it's sold for that, what would you purchase? And then you go out and look wherever you're thinking about going or what that purchase price buys you. So if you go step 1, 2, and 3 and everything still looks good, then yeah, absolutely, then put your home on the market. But that's where we consider ourselves consultants and advisors at Coldwell Banker Real Estate. So, give us a call and we'll sit down individually and talk to you about where the market is, what your home's worth. And God knows if you're renting a place, call us, because even if you want more than a condo townhouse or you're being priced out of the market, because what happens, the delta between the single family homes and the condo townhouses is so large now that those people will not be able to afford those single family homes and they'll start bouncing down to the condo townhouses, which will lift those prices a little bit. So definitely don't just, throw in the towel if you can't afford a single family home. Buy a condo townhouse. Let that appreciation happen. Then that will help you step. Remember, it's hard to go straight into your dream home. We all had to make those steps. When my wife and myself, Meg, first got married, we rented an apartment. Then we rented a home. Then we bought a condo. Then we bought a smaller home. Then we bought a bigger home. Then we bought a bigger home. Now we've been on the downside of that, of buying smaller homes and then condo townhouses. So again, we will sit down with you and talk about what you're really looking for. But the main thing is get into this market. And even if you're in that $1.5 million, give or take, single family home, you need more range. At least look at what's out there. Because again, if you're looking for the bottom of the market, the only time you see the bottom is when it's gone back up and you're looking down at it. So if you hit the bottom of the market, it's more luck than anything else. And again, we don't see really, in at least the near future, of this market bottoming out. Now, maybe we won't have the appreciation we've had because it was so pent up and COVID has added so much, demand to that certain market segment. But definitely get into the market because, again, if the market goes down a little bit and interest rates go up a little bit, you'll still be money ahead with the low interest rates. So again, if you want to sit down and chat about either buying or selling, give us a call. Again, Joe Kehrig, Coldwell Banker Real Estate in Danville. My cell number is 925-487-6838. Again, 925-487-6838. And you can reach me via email at joe@kehrigteam.com. So that's joe@KEHRIGTEAM.com. Because remember, everyone's situation is a little bit different. You can have the exact same home in the exact neighborhood as someone else who just sold their home, but your situation might be different. Again, the most important thing when we sit down with the clients, we want to know what your end game is, and then we want to guide you through that. Again, a quarter of the people we meet with end up not even putting their home on the market once we map all that out. So give me a call. Have a great day. And as always, there's a lot of unrest in the country, a lot of fires. We're still dealing with COVID. So there's a lot of people, our police, our fire, our military, the nurses, the doctors, kids are going back to school, the school teachers, a lot of people on that front line, the delivery people. And so, we pray that they stay safe and may God bless them. May God bless you. And may God bless your family in the United States of America. Have a great week and we'll talk to you next week.